This is Nick Park. He was an animator and director, but now he has moved up to be a director of animation film. He was nominated for an Academy Award 6 times and won 4 Oscars. The thing he is mostly known for is being the creator of 2 famous English plasticine characters who are recognised around the world. Who are they, and how did Nick create them? Nick Park was born in Preston in 1958. He did animation as a hobby at home and decided he wanted to make a career out of it, and he studied at the National Film and Television School, where all different types of filmmakers go. While he was a student at the National Film and Television School, he came up with an animation film of an inventor and his assistant, which happens to be a dog. He called his characters Wallace and Gromit. He and his friends made the sets and models, and Nick and his friend wrote down the scripts and called the film A Grand Day Out. The story was about an inventor called Wallace and his pet dog Gromit, who were building a rocket to get to the moon that is made of cheese. He needed the right voice for Wallace, and he chose a British theatre and TV actor, Peter Sallis, to do the voice of Wallace after seeing him in Last of the Summer Wine.
She was going to take me for a haircut. Can you imagine? At my age, the unisex hair boutique. I'm not even sure that I've got unisex hair.
If you think about it, there was a person doing the voiceover, and then 6 years later gets the phone call saying, we've just completed the film. I mean, imagine his surprise.
Tell you what, Gromit lad. Let's have a nice hot cup of tea.
After recording Peter Sallis' voice, he began animating all by himself. The first shot he did was when Wallace was sawing the door to build a rocket, and Gromit didn't do much because he was under it. Nick was about to give Gromit a mouth and everything. He even recorded a voice for him, but it was so hard to do. So the only thing he could do is move his eyebrows. So he realised that Gromit doesn't need to talk. He can just talk with his eyebrows. Nick spent 2 years animating 10 minutes of the film, but then 2 men called Peter Lord and David Sproxton, who were the co-founders of Aardman Animations, came in and met Nick. Aardman were the creators behind Morph, the little clay man who presents children's TV show Take Heart. They looked at Nick's work and offered Nick a job at Aardman.
Nick Park was actually at university at the time, and this was a college project. And he was visited by Aardman, who saw the work he was making. And because of this, he found himself both being at university and working for Aardman at the same time. So obviously, this had a bit of a conflict of interest. He found himself finding his own projects secondary to the other work he was doing.
While he worked at Aardman, they made Peter Gabriel's music video Sledgehammer.
Well, most of the cages are a bit small and either grotty and everything.
He made Creature Comforts, which is an animation film where real people's conversations were brought to life by animated animals.
Oh, the humour's superb. I mean, people really loved those Creature Comforts. They were really the most entertaining and enjoyable animation that people had seen in a long time.
You know, in a hot country that I have a good weather and that I have space, that I have trees, you know, that I don't have only grass with pollens that give me hay fever every day.
After 5 years, Aardman had decided to help Nick finish A Grand Day Out, and at the end it took 6 years to make, and it was ready for liftoff. Creature Comforts and A Grand Day Out, and they were both nominated for an Academy Award in 1990. And the Oscar goes to Creature Comforts by Nick Park.
Oh, I think it shows just how important Nick Park is to the world of animation. His contribution is shown by the fact that he's nominated for 2 Oscars. Is absolutely fantastic, both for him and, of course, for British cinema and, in particular, animation.
All's well that ends well, that's what I say.